Namaskar. Good evening to all to the today's unit on panel discussion on pre-union budget 2020, 22 and 23. Wishing you all a very happy and prosperous new year 2020-22 and pray for Lord Jagannath for your and loved ones good health and safety during this unparalleled situation. Few minutes back, we got message from the office of Shri Vishal Kumar Dev sir, IS. As he could not join due to some urgency meeting called by Chief Secretary. However, he has given message. He will join when he is free. He will definitely join. We may continue the discussion. In his absence, respected special guest CMA Niranjan Mishra sir and CMA BB Nayak sir, today's panelist CMA Anil Murtunjay Acharya sir, CMA Shiva Prasad Padi sir, CMA Vishwanath Bhatt sir, CMA BM Gupta sir, CMA Mihur Kumar Mahapatra sir. Welcome you all, sir. One of our panelists, CMA Niranjan Swain sir, could not attend due to his illness. We pray before Almighty for his speedy recovery. Respected Chairman of Hon'ble Chapter, CMA Antarjami Acharya sir, CGK Chapter, CMA Lalit Kumar Mishra, South Odisha Chapter, CMA Ashwani Patra, Sambalpur Chapter, CMA KC Nanda sir, Balasore Chapter, CMA Sanjay Kumar De, Jajpur Keunjhar Chapter, CMA SK Gupta sir, and Vice Chairman of Raulkela Chapter, CMA CHNK Nanda sir. Respected senior members, past chairman of EIRC and chapter, RCM, ST members, and all Lord participants, chairman of the chapter, CMA Himoj Mishra, and all other professional colleagues in the managing committee of Bhubaneswar chapter and other chapters at Odisha. ICMA Saktidhar Singh, chairman of the committee, warmly welcomes you all to today's WEBINT. Before giving brief introduction of our today's guests and resource persons, I would like to request our official of the chapter to play Institute Anthem as a mark of inauguration in the virtual platform. Thank you. It is my proud privilege to introduce our today's guest, chief guest, special guest, and panelist. Our today's chief guest, Shri Vishal Kumar Dev sir, IS, is basically from Dehradun, Uttar Pradesh. Shri Vishal Kumar Dev sir graduated in 1990 with a degree in computer science and engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, BHU, Varanasi, and studied management from the Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow. He also completed master program in governance and development from University of Sussex, UK. He is a 1996 batch IS officer he was functioning as Commissioner cum Secretary, Department of Sports and Youth Service, Government of Odisha since 16 September 2016 and continued as Principal Secretary till 29 July 2021. Athletic Federation of India chose him as the leader of India squad for the IIF World Championship held at London from 1st to 30th August 2017. He played a crucial role in the unprecedented success of the 22nd Asian Athletic Championship, which was hosted by the Government of Odisha at Kalinga Stadium, Bhubaneswar from July 5th to 9th, 2017. He was one of the directors of Odisha Sports Development and Promotion Company from 16 November 2013 and became a nominee director of the company on 16 November 2016. He worked about 3 years in the corporate sector before joining the Indian Administrative Service in 1996. He handled a number of important assignments in the past, including Municipal Commissioner of Cuttack, Collector and District Magistrate of Balasore, CEO, Odisha Computer Application Center and Director, IT, Government of Odisha. Also functioned as Secretary of IS Officers Association of Odisha, and presently he is the Principal Secretary, Department of Finance, Government of Odisha. Now I would like to introduce CMA Niranjan Mishra sir, as he is our fellow and guide, and there is no basically introduction, but he is a fellow member and council member, chairman, committee on cost and management account and for public and government services, and members of many more committees of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. He is a practicing cost accountant, Bhubaneswar. He elected to the council for the term 2015 and 2019 and 2019 and 2023 term. During the term 2015-19, he lead chairman of the Tax Research Department, Regional Council and Chapter Coordination Committee. He is the past chairman of Bhubaneswar Chapter and has been associated with CMA profession around 28 years. Now our special guest, CMA Bibhuti Bhusan Nayak sir, is a fellow member and elected as a regional council member of ICAI-Eastern for the term 2019-2023. He was the vice chairman at present, taken responsibility as chairman, treasurer and chairman study committee of ICAI-IRC. He is the past chairman of ICAI-Bhubaneswar chapter, retired at DGM Finance from OPDCL, GIDCO, and present in the field of practice. He is also associated with the profession around 25 years. Thank you, sir, for acceptance of our invitation. Now I would like to introduce CMA M.K. Mahapatra sir. CMA M.K. Mahapatra sir is a fellow member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and past chairman and one of the founder member of ICAI chapter. He is a practicing cost accountant having more than 25 years experience. Now I will introduce our panelist, CMA Anil Sharma sir. CMA Anil Sharma sir is a fellow member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and is a practicing cost accountant in the Chandigarh. CMA Anil Sharma sir has more than 15 years of experience in private and public sector. He is a member of Indirect Taxation Committee, Assam North. He was the chairman of Northern Indian Regional Council of ICAI, New Delhi, during the period 2019 and 20, and also a panelist with the national TV channels and All India Radio on GST and other contemporary issues. Thank you, sir, for acceptance of our invitation. Now, I would like to introduce our other panelist, CMA M. Mutunjay Acharya sir. Mutunjay Acharya sir is a fellow member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and did his MBA Finance from University at Chennai and has industry experience of around 25 years, including BEL, SR Steel and Delhi Stock Exchange. He was the Senior Vice President, Accounts, Audit and Taxation of Balmer Lowry and Co. Limited, Kolkata, and recently joined as General Manager of Finance, Numalinga Refinery Limited Unit of Oil India at Guwahati. He has also published number of books in taxation and valuation. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to introduce CMA SP Padhi sir, who is very well known to us. He is a fellow member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and currently practicing as a cost accountant at Bhubaneswar. He is the past chairman of ICAI-Bhubaneswar Chapter and EIRC and associated with profession for more than 15 years. He has handled audit, consulting, advisory service in relation to taxation and other areas in the organization like NALCO, NTPC, GAL rights, OPGC, OCPL, OHPC, OTPCL, TPCODL, TPSODL, Southco, MGM Minerals, and many more. Thank you, sir. Now, we have another panelist, CMA Vishwanath Bhattacharya from Bangalore. He is a fellow member of Institute of Cost Accountants of India and practicing cost accountant since more than 15 years at Bangalore. He has rich experience in the areas like costing, budgeting, MIS, VAT, central excise, income tax, service tax, internal audit, and GST. He held various positions in Bangalore chapter like Secretary, Vice Chairman, and Chairman of Bangalore chapter. At present, he is the portfolio Vice Chairman, the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, Southern India Regional Council. Thank you, sir. Not last but not the least, we have with us CMA BM Gupta sir. CM Gupta sir is a associate member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India and master degree in financial management. He was chief technologist at Logo in Microsoft Business Technology Private Limited, Mumbai, and senior vice president taxation practice, AR consultant. At present, he is the VCFO, GST and management consultant, Hyderabad. He has over 2 decades of experience in the areas of taxation, GST, product management, sales, operations, marketing, finance, accounting, costing, and budget accounting. He has authored various books on GST and risk-based internal audit as author and co-author. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and taking part as the panelist event.
Yes, sir.
Now, without taking much of our precious time, I would like to request our chairman, Sri Himoj Kumar Mishra, to address. Stay healthy, stay safe. Jai Jagannath. Hello.
Thank you, Saktidhar. Very warm good evening. In absence of today's chief guest, IS Vishal Kumar Dev sir, special guest CMA Niranjan Mishra sir and CMA Nayak sir. Today's panelist CMA Anil Sharma sir, CMA Mrutyunjay Acharya sir, CMA MK Mahapatra sir, CMA Shiva Prasad Padhi sir, CMA Vishwanath Bhatt sir, CMA BM Gupta sir, Chairman of Talcher Hon'ble Chapter, CMA Antarjami Acharya sir, Katak Jagatsinghpur Chapter, CMA Lalit Kumar Mishra sir, South Odisha Chapter, CMA Ashwini Patra sir, Sambalpur Chapter, CMA KC Nanda sir, Baleshwar Chapter, CMA Sanjay Kumar De sir, Jajpur Keonjhar Chapter, CMA SK Gupta sir, and Vice Chairman of Raulkela Chapter, CMA NK Nanda sir. All the CMAs and invitee guests join in today's WEBINT at Pan India. On behalf of the organizing team, I, CMA Himoj Mishra, Chairman of ICAI-Bhubaneswar Chapter, warmly welcome you all to today's virtual program, panel discussion on pre-union budget 2022-23. We always convey our hearty thanks and profound gratitude to IS Vishal Kumar Dev sir and all the panelists for acceptance of our invitation. I pray before Almighty for all of your and your beloved one a healthy life and prosperity. Wishing a grand success of the today's WEBINT. Jai Jagannath.
Thank you. Msme Himoj Kumar Mishra, Chairman of the chapter. Now I would like to request Msme Bibhuti Bhusan Nayak sir, Regional Council Member and Treasurer of ICAI-ERC. Sir, kindly address.
Thank you, Saktidhar and Himoj and all team of Bhubaneswar chapter. And respected Vishal Dev sir in his absence here, and all respected panelists and all the chairman from Odisha chapter, that Rautla chapter, Baleshwar chapter, Kotak chapter, Hon'ble chapter, Sambalpur chapter, Nandababu and Ashwani Patra from Barampur chapter, Madhurjami sir, Hon'ble chapter. So today is the opportunity that here we are together and we are going to discuss. I think it is the first time we are taking this pre-budget expectations and we are discussing. So I am hoping that this discussion will be very fruitful and knowledgeable also. And I want to express something that we will listen from our panelists. What are the expected changes? In a very nutshell, just point I am expecting. We are expecting changes this time. So this is the year record collection, both direct and indirect tax, Government of India observed. Even if COVID period is there, and similarly, we are also expecting, and many professional bodies also, they have already submitted their memorandum, budget expectation. And in direct tax area, also indirect tax area, and also in different fields like health, education, and MSME, and different transactions also, different area, that is research and development, this time government may give importance. But more interestingly, people are waiting for direct tax changes, which is not there. So last 3 to 4 years, employee, that salaried employee, they are expecting that basic exemption changes, they are expecting standard deduction changes, they are expecting slab rate. And it is very important this year, government should do, I am also expecting that 115 BAC, that creating some confusion and also some that lower tax regime, that option 2, who are giving option, lower tax, they are deprived of getting certain section 80 chapter 6 deductions, like 80D deductions, 80DD deduction, 80DDB deduction, and also education loan 80E, and also even 80G also. They are not availing, and government this time we are expecting that they may change. And in other micro area also, for the last 25 years, the figures, the benchmarks, like education allowance, children education allowance, that is also not changed, and rural area allowance, that is also not changed. And so many micro factors, small issues, that leave salary, that benchmark, although gratuity was 5 lakhs, then 10 lakhs, then now it is 20 lakhs notified, but still leave salary 3 lakhs, that benchmark is there. Above 3 lakhs, that people who are making payment, tax payment. So we are expecting our panelists, they will discuss. And a lot of area, even additional depreciation, the manufacturing company, they are getting, if they are coming for lower tax regime and they are not getting additional depreciation. So this is the first year that after introduction of option 2, option 1, or option 2, the tax slabs, a lot of controversy, lot of litigation, lot of dissatisfaction. We are expecting government will take steps to mitigate this, and our panelists will discuss in detail. And up to our, we are also expecting changes in that faceless assessment, that appeal procedure and settlement, and up to refund also. Certain difficulties are there. We are expecting all such changes also. And some major expenses this time, mainly CSR expenses are not allowed. And this time also we are expecting our panelists will discuss in detail. And like this in indirect tax also, indirect tax gradually we are observing from the very day it is changing. Still, it needs some major changes. Finally, I am expecting that the government will give stress on agriculture sector, health sector, and we'll listen from our panelists that what are the expected or changes, future changes government this time may take. Thank you very much. I am expecting this today evening program will be very knowledgeable and very helpful, and it is, I wish a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable suggestion. Now I like to request CMA Niranjan Mishra sir, Central Council member and Chairman Committee on Cost and Management for Public and Government Service, Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Sir, kindly address.
Good evening. After a long time, I am meeting my fellow colleagues or CMA tycoons in the taxation area and in other areas.
Good evening, sir.
Despite of this pandemic, it is my pleasure, and I am happy to share that Bhusan chapter is organizing the pre-budget discussion. It may be late, but it's not so far because there is another 7-8 days. Today is 20, so another 5 days are there for the central government to announce its budget. Again, the state government is yet to decide the date of its budget. So that's why expecting our finance secretary of the government of Orissa, we have arranged this seminar, but due to the preoccupation and urgent call by Chief Minister and the Chief Secretary, he has gone there. So we may expect at any time his presence. So if he will not join, what we decided, we'll compile all these suggestions of our honorable panelists and will submit to the government of Orissa and to the institute also. So taking the institute's task front, you all are very aware that we have introduced this pre-budget and this post-budget also, and giving the submission to the government of India, the diet and tax front, India tax front, in the year 2018 and 19, and we were continuing. And these resource persons, those are here, they have taken all the role, all the lead to give their suggestions and views to compile the pre-budget memorandum of the institute to be submitted to the government of India from time to time. And I'm happy to see the presence of CMA Uttanjacharya sir, CMA Vishal sir, CMA Bibhuti sir, CMA Anil Sharma sir, CMA SP Padi, CMA Niranjan in his absence here, and CMA Msme Sector, CMA Oman Pariki. So there are a lot of taxation tycoons in our profession. Those have contributed a lot in last 3 to 4 years. And due to their efforts, though we have not got more benefit from the government for our inclusion, but I feel most of the suggestions have been accepted by the government of India. This time also, I came to know, though I am not in the committee, but I came to know that Muttunjacharya sir has given a lot of contribution to prepare the pre-budget memorandum, and he also presented before the CBDT and CBIC. This is all about the taxation reform or taxation work activities of our institute. You all are aware that since last 3 years we are doing that. And coming to the today's WEBINT, Honorable Vishal there in his absence here, chief guest of the occasion, the chairman of All Odisha Chapter, Himoj Mishra, more dynamic, young, and energetic. Despite of his COVID situation, he just recovered 2 days back, but he organized this program. CMA Saktidhar Singh, the PD committee chairman, CMA Bibhuti Nayak, Treasurer, ERC, and one of the expert in taxation, CMA Anthem, sir. Though our Pedicom chairman has not shown his photo, but I know, sir, you are expert in taxation because you are heading the taxation front in NALCO, and sir is very energetic, though he is not looking old in age, but he is very energetic. Due to his contribution, the profession has developed, and at this age, he is contributing more in the Hon'ble and culture area. So he is a very known face in the profession. Same BM Gupta sir, I have already introduced same Mutanja Jaj sir, same Shiva Prasad Padi sir, Vishal sir, Anisama sir, same MK Mahapatra. He is also the one of the expert from Kotak, and he also started practice 27-28 years back, but he is the expert in taxation. And CMA Nanda sir is the vice chairman of All Chapter, but and CGM Finance of also All Steel Plant. He also one of the speaker today in today's occasion. So other than these names, what I spelled out here, CMA Keshi Nanda sir is the chairman Sambalpur chapter, CMA LK Mishra sir, chairman Kotajapur Kendrapada chapter, CMA Ashwini Patra, South Odisha chapter, CMA SK Balance chapter, all are here. Along with our CMA colleagues, those are very aspirant to know the pre-budget expectation from today's event. So why you are expecting Vishal Dev sir, I am giving you some brief of the development this Bhusan chapter has marched forward. In cooperative audit, we have given representation to the Ministry of Cooperation, Govt of Orissa, that is in the maturity stage. Now that is pending with the Finance Department only for the approval, then it will go to Cabinet and we will get some benefit or some professional skills in the area of cooperation in our basket, to the basket of our costing practitioners. So that is one proposal pending with the Govt of Orissa. Similarly, we have also given presentation with the help of CJK chapter for the inclusion of our name in the local fund audit, panchayat audit, and education institution audit. So I think they are not far. We'll be able to give some good things to our basket with the help of all our chapter leaders and the Bhusan chapter management team. So all the experts are here, so I will not tell anything about the this expectation. But one thing I wish to tell, whatever we will get the benefit of today's event, what the outcome of today's event, we'll summarize, we'll compile, and we'll submit to the Govt of Orissa and the institute, and we'll also request the institute. Though we have submitted pre-budget memorandum earlier, now before the release of budget by Honorable Finance Minister, it may be sent again to the CBDT and the Ministry of Finance. So I will not take much of time, but I request you to be safe with your family members, with your good health and well-being, because this pandemic is spreading in an infinite way. So I pray Lord Jagannath for the good health and safety of all your members and you also. Thank you very much. Now I am giving this to Saktidhar Singh sir to tell the panelists to start their deliberation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jai Jagannath.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable suggestion and highlighting the activities of Bhubaneswar chapter. Now I would like to request CMA Antarjami Acharya sir, Chairman Untitled Chapter. Sir, kindly address.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Saktidhar.
Thank you, sir.
And respected Honorable Chief Guest of the evening, Shri Vishal Dev in absentia, all the Honorable panelists, our Central Council member and the Chairman of the Eastern Management Committee of Public Management Offices, Mr. Niranjan Mishra, Mr. Bhatt, Mr. Matinjay Acharya, Anil Sharmaji, other panelists, Mr. BM Gupta, I have read one or two books authored by you, nice books. Mr. Himoj Mishra, and the people in the background of all these webinar very frequently they are organizing very nicely at par with the institute standard. I'll not take much time, more than 2 minutes I will conclude because I am very much interested to listen to the panelists. First of all, I congratulate CMA Muthinjay Acharya for taking over as GM Finance of Numaligarh Refinery. As far as NALCO is concerned, NALCO and Numaligarh, they are very much connected and related always. So we'll get much more benefit from Mr. Acharya in future also.
Thank you, sir.
Just I'll be putting 3-4 points before the panelists, which they may elaborate in detail. They might have already considered some of them in their agenda of discussion. Today, the entire world is facing the pandemic situation. First, second, third, fourth. Now some countries they are facing the 5th wave of Corona, COVID-19. I don't think there will be any end to it in very near future, but we have to tune ourselves to the system, to the situation. Otherwise, a time will come when all the countries will perish in the name of the pandemic situation. Just listening to a noted comedian, Mr. Saktidhar. He was asked by the viewers, what is the solution to this COVID situation? How will prosper? He told, आप एक काम करो भाई, टीवी मत देखो, न्यूज़पेपर मत पढ़ो, किससे बात मत करो, रेडियो मत सुनो, pandemic situation चला जाएगा. A very light mood he told. Probably the pinch of the COVID-19 is more due to this bad publication also. It is pinching, but the pinch is felt more due to these bad publications also. Some points in this opportunity given to us to ventilate our ideas on that. What the government should do for us. We are expected to do a lot for the government, but what the government is expected to do for the citizens of India. GST, it was a very nice step. And when it took birth, people taking birth was also associated in different discussions. What we expected, we did not get that. The GST rules, the way it has been framed, day by day it is getting more complicated, and any ordinary dealer, ordinary taxpayer, I think cannot address it properly unless he is sufficiently educated and sufficiently educated in the net, operating the websites, all these things. So it is not at all friendly. A lot of modification, a lot of developments are required on that aspect. Even for that purpose, this income tax website, what I have experienced for the last 30 years, it was so nice earlier. And it has been made so dirty now. I'm telling very bad term, dirty. It's very difficult to file a return in a span of minutes or 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's taking a lot of time. And we do not know where we are landing. So a lot of system improvements is required. And the government must look into it because they have already committed a lot of crores of money to a particular company for developing it, but they are not getting the result, desirable result. They should not look for cost saving in that aspect. They should address it properly. Number one. Government, it is the proper time both for the union as well as the state governments to declare the agriculture as an industry. 4 factors of production are there: land, labor, capital, organization. Land is getting wasted day by day. It is not properly utilized for agriculture. Labor, in the name of the getting poor, winning the elections, lot of this 1 rupee rice, 1 rupee wheat, all these things are going on, and people are getting leisure day by day. They are not working. So labor is very perishable, it is getting wasted. Capital is not properly utilized. In one sector, in the agricultural sector, we are not contributing anything. And in the industrial sector, we are writing of crores of rupees, thousands crores of rupees as bad debts. And organization, in the name of the labor reform, the 100 years old law, Industrial Dispute Act, Trade Union Act, it needs a relook because people are misusing that. And virtually the organizations, they are facing a lot in managing the organizations. Coming to the task aspect, it was very nice decision taken earlier on dividend. The companies declaring dividend, they are required to pay the taxes. It has brought a lot of incentive to the investors. Now that is stopped. I think this year again, they may plan to reverse it back, put it in the proper form. Senior citizens, throughout their life, they have paid taxes, and out of the net money, whatever they have invested somewhere in the bank, in fixed deposit or somewhere, they're getting some interest. That interest also they're making it taxable, and barely nowadays the cost of living is going up. You go to market, get a kg of tomato, it is costing 80 to 100 rupees. Anything, any food item you go, is so costly. People are not able to finance for the expenditure what is required. And again, you are putting taxes on the senior citizens. At least it is very difficult to isolate which is taxable, which is not taxable. At least the interest people are getting from the bank, from the fixed deposits, for the senior citizens, make it tax free. That is my personal opinion. And what is lacking for so many years, government is not considering to expand the taxpayer base. 4 crore people, they are paying taxes. So what will happen? Out of a population of 140 crores, only 4 crore 8 lakhs people, they are paying taxes. People means I am adding the corporate citizen also. Unless you increase the taxpayer base, what is happening? These 4 crore people, they are paying taxes on taxes, like that. So cascading effect is taking place. These are the few points what I wanted to put forth as a problem before the panelists. They will be addressing it. Thank you all. I have taken more time what I was desiring. Thank you, Bhubaneswar chapter, for arranging such a nice event. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for associating with us and sharing your few views. Now I will. It is time to listen from the panelists. Now I like to request CMA BM Gupta sir, VCFO, GST and Consumer Management Consultant Hyderabad. Sir, kindly address.
Yeah. Namaskar, Jai Jagannath, and I would like to thank the Bhubaneswar chapter and all the organizers and Niranjan sir for giving me this opportunity to share my views. And I would like to also thank the in actual presence of the chief guest of today's event, Kumar sir, basically. Without wasting much time, I would just jump into the major issues which the industry can expect as a relief in the upcoming budget. So I'm going to touch the corporate laws, the direct taxes and the indirect taxes, apart from on the MSME is the backbone of the Indian economy. Now, when it comes to the corporate laws, it is indirectly related to the GST also. As we all know that the world is facing the pandemic for the last couple of years, and now many of the countries have started declaring it as an endemic. That means it is going to stay with us forever or for some more time, but the intensity is going to come. Keeping that apart, the government is also doing a very tremendous job. It has vaccinated more than 1.6 crore, 160 crore citizens of India with the multiple vaccines, first round, second round, and the booster doses, and the people around, kids around 15 years also being vaccinated. Apart from that, the government is spending a lot on various schemes, especially during the last 2 years. As a helping hand, the corporates are also spending money as a part of the CSR funds or from their own pocket to help the needy people, be it in supply of COVID essentials like the masks or the sanitizers or the medicines or the food, whatever is the item. Yes, corporates are spending, and whenever they buy a mask or a sanitizer, or when they donate oxygen plants or anything, basically, in the second wave, you have seen the shortage of oxygen plants. Corporates have donated. They also donated the bullets for transfer of this oxygen from one location to another location. So all this involve a lot of taxation is also there behind them, apart from the money. So I would request the government of India to consider the eligibility of input tax credit on the CSR expenditure. Now that has become a debatable topic. We have seen multiple EIRs, especially in case of Polycab, which is based out of Kerala. The advanced ruling has given that it is not eligible for availing the input tax credit on the CSR expenditure. In case of Uttar Pradesh advanced ruling bench, it has said that the taxpayer can avail the input tax credit. So this is creating some confusion in the industry. And if you see the Gujarat advanced ruling bench, again, they have said it is not eligible, but they have gone into a notch below the rulings and said that since it is not a business activity, it cannot be treated as eligible for input tax credit. Yes, we do agree there is a provision, and I would request the government to amend those provisions so that the corporates can spend more amount. If you take today the average tax rate under GST after the rollout, which started around 15-16%, has come down to now 12% roughly. So if a corporate is spending 100 crores on CSR, and if we allow them the input tax credit benefit, so they can spend another 12 crores. That means the pressure on the government on the social welfare schemes will be minimized. So this is one area which I would request the government to look into it and make necessary provisions amended in the Companies Act as well as in the GST Act, so that there is no ambiguity at any point of time. Because when the advanced ruling authorities take any decision, they go in depth from both the provisions of the law and they give a judgment or they pass the order. So this has to be amended at the earliest, which will help the taxpayers, especially the who are under the GST, and help the overall economic development of the society. So this is the first point which I would like to discuss with you all. And the second one is for the MSMEs. MSMEs are the backbone of our Indian economy. They provide employment of more than 11 crores, and they contribute to roughly 30% of the GDP and an equal amount of the exports. Now, with this, if we give more preference to the MSMEs, definitely we'll be achieving the aspiration of a Prime Minister of India, 5 trillion economy in no time. And to do this, some measures have to be announced, few have been announced, and I would request one more measure to be announced at the earliest, that is the production linked incentive scheme. If you see in the recent past, we have production linked incentive schemes being announced for roughly 13 sectors, from automobiles to the white goods, with whooping amount of 2.1 lakh crores has been earmarked. And I really appreciate the idea of providing a production linked incentive scheme rather than subsidies, which are being misused by certain sections in the society. So if we have a specialized production linked incentive scheme for the MSMEs, apart from the regular schemes which are sponsored by various ministries and the Minister of MSME, this will really give a boost to the economy actually. The employment generation is very huge, and with the pandemic, there is displacement of employees, and this can immediately create employment opportunities. Yes, the bigger units are provided, but the ancillary units, which are predominantly the MSMEs, there should be a separate PLI scheme for MSMEs. And if required, our institute can take part and give guidelines or suggestions with checks and balances so that things are not misused. And I can also be happy that I can also contribute in that direction. The third one, which I'm going to discuss, is on the direct access. Now, we have seen the pandemic for the last 2 years, especially in the first wave and the second wave. The medical expenditure has shot up astronomically high. And the claim ratios of the insurance companies have also shot up. And if you see, the average premiums of medical insurance have gone up not less than 20 to 30% during the last 1 year. But if you see, unfortunately, the exemption limits for 80D medical insurance premium, that is not increased over a period of time. So this is the right time for the government to increase the medical insurance premium exemption from 25,000 to roughly 50,000 rupees. Today, if a family of 3 people is there and they take a family floater policy of insurance for 25 lakhs, it costs you anything between 35 lakhs to 35,000 to 45,000 rupees per annum. So giving a 45,000 rupees or a 50,000 rupees exemption limit will definitely help the middle class people who can save more amount, and many people can start focusing on investment in health insurance also. That is one thing. And the other thing is, under 80C, the threshold limit should be increased. And we have seen many people have sold their assets for the COVID treatment. People have spent, especially in the second wave and the first wave, lakhs of rupees. And even now also some people are spending based on the complexity, even though we have reached the third wave. So 80C, I would request government to introduce a separate provision for medical expenditure related to the COVID treatment. In this way, this will be very helpful for the common man, where some of them have lost their employment, or some of them have taken a pay cut reduction. And in few sectors only, we have seen an increment in salaries. Still, some of them are to find jobs after they have displaced with the jobs because of the pandemic impact. So if these 3 measures are going to be announced in the budget, this will have a very huge impact on the Indian economy, and it will also give us to be Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is the self-reliant India. And at the same time, we can achieve the 5 trillion economy as per our plan, in spite of the hardships which we are seeing as on date because of the pandemic. But I would like to say that it is no longer to be a pandemic, but it is going to be an endemic. And we all need to take proper COVID precautions announced by the government from time to time. Stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you all for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your views and proposal for ITC on CSR, MSMEs, and increase the threshold limit under section 80D and 80C. Thank you, sir. Now I will request CMA Mutunjay Acharya sir, GM Finance, Numalingar Refinery Limited, Guwahati. Sir, kindly address.
Very good evening.
Very
Happy wishes, all the best for this new year, and hope everybody is keeping fine, keeping well. Respected all of you, Niranjan Mishra sir, Anthem Acharya sir, Anil Sharma ji, Pati sahab, my best friend, no, Mr. Bhatt, BM Gupta. I should not leave anybody's name, BB Nayak and Saktidhar Singh ji. No, to name everybody is there in our esteemed and most esteemed Bhubaneswar chapter, and also the persons behind these names who make this program a most successful one. A hearty welcome to everyone. Sir, this budget or pre-budget expectation and the pre-budget memorandum, what the country needs today. I believe a lot of discussion had already taken place and also going to be taken place in respect of the personal income and the benefits or the deductions thereof. Acharya sir has already told about the senior citizen. Gupta has already told about medical insurance, which are definitely a call of the day. I will restrict my views and opinion and my experiences that I gathered at least for at the last 2 or 3 years while discussing with the very senior officials in CVDT, including their member legislations, what the government needs, what the government wishes, and trust that no matter ATD and other thing, definitely that is a call of common people. Government has got a different view. And in the last year, rather this year, pre-budget memorandum, when I had that opportunity to speak before the authorities, we highlighted that how the country can prosper, how the revenue can prosper, and how the institute or the professional attitude of the institute or the member of the institutes can add value to the nation building through stopping of all revenue leakages. So I will restrict only 2 or 3 issues because our time is really constant. First, we speak about pandemic, we speak about economy, lot many things are there, but at the same time, the country and the economy is moving at a quite accelerated rate. Trust me, the thrust on capitalization is the principal thrust of the government of India. The Honorable Prime Minister and the entire team is focusing on the capitalization. That means put your money into the capital assets, bring out new industries, bring out new infrastructure, and through this process, the economy should roar. The economy should be boosted, and we should touch double-digit economic growth rate. Since I am in the petroleum sector, a few information. Only 2 days back, Honorable PMO's office has reviewed the new projects in the infrastructure, and number of states, particularly when I'm speaking at the Bhubaneswar chapter platform, to say that the huge expansion, more than some around 1,78,000 or 1,80,000 crores from the petroleum sector is going to be invested or already in the process of investment in the state of Orissa by the state-owned oil companies. And it starts from Balaso to Paradip and other coastal places where the oil, particularly the oil sectors, right, sir, if any one of you belongs to that particular zone, might have seen the lot of pipelines and big activities are already started. Coming with that, the number one suggestion that was given and which also is called for is that the tax on the benefit on or the advantages on the infrastructure facilities, infrastructure benefits need to be reinstated or need to be accelerated. 80 IA, IB, IC, 80 HSD, these are all have grandfathered. So one suggestion which already has been given and the government is sincerely looking into it on a capital infrastructure project, which includes, maybe shipping, maybe, anchoring, maybe pipelining, maybe refinery, maybe power sector, which are the call of the day. And a huge infrastructure benefit is requested, has already been requested, and that's the call of the day. To say something more, where the economy is moving or where the entire country is moving, we are moving from hydrocarbon to hydrogen. Hydrocarbon to hydrogen. I repeat it once again. Number of private sector players has already invested few million crores or in the process of investing. The public sector, the government sector is also investing because that's a call, and the target is given that by 2030, we are already in 2022, the fossil fuel will be almost over, and we all have to converge into the renewable energy, maybe solar, and the other one is hydrogen. The huge investment and a long-standing sustainable benefit arising out of that requires a foreign or multinational, the technological inflow in our country. Here, apart from this infrastructure benefit under different 80 section chapter 6 benefit, in our budget memorandum of the institute, 2 or 3 things I have highlighted. Not only to hydrogen issues, but all infrastructure issues where royalty becomes the significant payout out of the entire, and which becomes a significant part of my cost of the product or bill of material, whichever way you like to say. If the royalty moves out, there will be a TDS burden, there will be tax credit. If it moves out as a business profit, there will be a separate understanding. The transfer pricing mechanism as applicable on a country by country reporting, sir and ma'am, all of us on this forum, slightly on a global standard, tax standards. And believe me, this is what has also been noted. They all accepted that, yes, the institute is absolutely on a right track. The country by country reporting on the transactions, if it is a royalty, if it could be taken as a royalty in the double tax avoidance agreement, instead of taking it as a simple outflow from the country, we could reduce the volume of taxes. Okay, so that becomes a real benefit to the Indian infrastructure companies or Indianized companies who will feel more tempted to set up industry, long-term industry in our country. That will give a better results to the country in a long run. True. So the cross-border taxation, a transfer pricing mechanism, the double tax avoidance agreement, and OECD organizations of right. So OECD issues, and right now while I'm speaking, some development just has popped up. Ethanol. All of you know. Once again I repeat. This is again a call of the day. The government has announced that up to 20% ethanol can be mixed with the MS, the petrol and diesel, to make it more friendly and to reduce the prices. Ethanol manufacturing process is again a new call. It is very much there in UP and some part of the northern part of the country, some part of the Maharashtra. The call has taken that it has to be blended for a more MS quality. Again, an industrial huge investment is coming out with a technology backup from multinationals. Sir and ma'am, we presented that yes, this should be the call of the union budget. I spoke it on a specific agenda that if these are the things comes out, then for the infrastructure, for the benefit, the determination of the transfer pricing, how much you are value transferring and what is the revenue being transferred, should be adjudicated by an appropriate transfer pricing model, and which is nothing but our cost accounting standards. Sir and ma'am, present today, I had real opportunity to share with all of you that honorable 3 members present in the members of the CVDT members who presented on that meeting, and they accepted that yes, if you have these standards with you, cost accounting standards, which are exactly applicable to section 90 onwards, the transfer pricing models, then why not you people coming out with a concept paper relationship between these two, which will become helpful for the revenue authorities to come out with a more elaborated rules behind it, right? So I come to a conclusion over here about the budget expectations. Hopefully there will be a number of changes are going to take place in the cross-country transfer pricing, OECD, and the country by country reporting. My wish list will not end, but would include that if in the entire process, the name of our institute comes out, pops up as a partner in identifying the transfer pricing methodology and the sustainability of the value to be certified by a CMA professionals, I think that will be my best of the wish list. Thank you, everyone. And we'll carry forward, we'll continue this discussion, and definitely we'll take everybody others views. Thanks, India-Bhubaneswar chapter for organizing and giving me this opportunity. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir, for sharing the Institute perspectives on Union project for economic growth of India, and also the proposal in the transfer pricing capital infrastructure project. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request CMA Shiva Pradhar Padi sir, practicing cost accountant Bhubaneswar, sir, kindly address.
Very good evening to one and all. Respected Niranjan Mishra sir, very respected and our own Mrityunjay Acharji sir, learned members, friend of Bhubaneswar chapter and this profession always, Bhatt sir, Mallikarjun Gupta sir, Anil Sharma sir, and chairman of other chapters. In absentia, the chief guest of this evening, Honorable Finance Secretary of State Government of Orissa. In fact, I had requested the chapter to allow me to share my expectation from the state budget of Government of Orissa. Government of Orissa, I will just take 3-4 minutes time to give you few introductory figures relating to the state budget. Then I will take you through my expectations. Now, when we look at the budget of Orissa, it's around 5 lakh crore. The state budget, the GDP is around 5 lakh crore. And when we talk about the total receipts versus the total expenditure, in this year, that is 2021-22, the budget estimate for spending was around 1.7 lakh crore. And receipt is around 1.67 lakh crore. And the government planned for a huge amount of borrowing in the current year, 21-22, because of the huge capital expenditure it planned out. As we can see, capital expenditure of around 50,000 crore was planned for 21-22, quite high in comparison to 2021 and 19-20 in form of the capital expenditure as well as the capital outlay. For that, there is a huge proposal for borrowing in the current year 21-22, as we can see. But still, the state is comfortable at debt servicing and the state is comfortable at debt repayment, as we can see from the past few years data. And the fiscal deficit is not exceeding 3.5% during the last 2 years, even in the pandemic situation. Now, with this data of the state government budget, let us understand the common issue which India as a country is facing to. My friend Mr. Gupta had already touched upon the topic. We as a country and Odisha as a state also are spending on health and well-being of the people is not up to few other countries with whom we are comparable. For example, if we compare ourselves with country like South Africa, or if we compare ourselves with a country like Russia or China, maybe our spending is 1/3 on health and well-being as far as the other countries are concerned. If I look at my state, Odisha, then the spending on health, spending on agriculture, spending on rural development and infrastructure is much higher than the state average. Odisha as a state spend very heavily or more average spending than many other states or average state figure as far as health and agriculture, rural development and creation of infrastructure is concerned. But when we look at education, the spending of the state is not up to the average of all states and many other states. When you go for a state-to-state comparison as far as spending on education is concerned, maybe Odisha is a state which is almost lagging behind by more than 1% of the national average and more than 2 to 3% of many other states. By saying this, in 4 major sectors, out of the 4 major sectors that government of Odisha spends, health, agriculture and rural development, the spending is much more than the national average and much more than many other states. But health is certainly a sector where, education is a sector where the state is to probably allocate more fund in the coming budget. That is what is my expectation. To be specific, when we compare the state budget with the other states and our own resources and possibilities, we find that the MSMEs in particular during this pandemic need more support and incentive, and maybe a lot of assistance is required by the MSMEs from the state government side. No doubt we are not comparing with the central government assistance and scheme in form of PLI and other for the MSMEs. But the MSMEs, again, I'm thankful to Mr. B.M. Gupta, who highlighted very nicely about the contribution of MSMEs to the country's economy and to the employment and to the export, which is phenomenal. Probably without MSMEs, we cannot think about the growth which we are achieving and heading or aspiring to be, including the 5 trillion economy. Now, in such instance, I personally analyze and find that my state probably needs to think more about the MSMEs, particularly in this pandemic situation, in form of various support schemes and maybe incentives or even assistance of many different types, whether it is subsidized power, whether it is reduction in the employment tax, professional employment tax, or it is providing them material at a subsidized price. Any sort of assistance, maybe for each cluster, would be of help for the MSMEs of Orissa in this pandemic, which definitely I look forward the state government to make a budget, in a proposal in their next budget 22-23. Next, a lot of sectors which particularly need special emphasis and focus, particularly needs budgetary support and allocation, is probably escaping from the budget and not getting its due importance and due focus, is horticulture, handicraft, floriculture, and handloom. These are the sectors which can not only create employment but also can directly help to maximize the resources available. And we all know that a state like Orissa is very, very potential as far as handloom and handicraft is concerned. And whenever we think about horticulture and floriculture, we largely depend on the neighboring states as far as the vegetables and the flowers are concerned. Pisciculture, we have created a place for ourselves. The capacity that we have built up in pisciculture probably would be making Orissa one of the largest and highest producer of fish in the years to come. Also in poultry. But as far as handicraft, as far as handloom, as far as horticulture and floriculture are concerned, probably government need to specially make some scheme and budgetary support for these sectors. And I remember we as a state were dependent, even today we are dependent on a few of our neighboring states for potato, and a lot of hue and cry is made in some period of the year when there is a short supply of potato. Rate reaches up to 50, 60, 70, 100, of course, in some point of time. Now, potato mission was, this is a state potato mission which was plotted by the government in the year 2018, failed miserably. Even government has accepted that the potato mission failed. Now, what is the reason of failure? Have we ever analyzed whether it is production or whether it is distribution or whether it is pricing or market linkage? What actually we could not carry out so that the state potato mission failed? Of course, all government per se make many schemes, many missions, many programs, and it is not possible that every mission, every scheme will be a grand success. But a mission which is very promising, a mission which is very much required for the state and its people, fails within a span of 2-3 years, is actually to be looked into. So I would suggest that projects like state potato mission should again be probably given a due emphasis in the upcoming budget to find out the reason of its failure and to work on it. Mrityunjay Acharji sir was talking about the reduction of carbon in the entire industrial scenario. India has committed that we will be carbon neutral by 2070, and we have assured that it will be a zero net emission country by the year 2050. How it is possible? Think about states like Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, and few other states where not only coal-based thermal plants are huge in numbers, but also the sale of coal and the tax generated out of coal and the power, thermal power, is actually the backbone of few of these states. So this is the right time and high time state government of Odisha should seriously and sincerely frame a solar policy, or maybe policy for other non-renewable sources of energy like wind or other sources. So the green energy that is need of the hour, a long-term vision plan is to be probably framed by state like Odisha as quick as possible. Now, another important area which I would urge the government to focus on is innovation and research. Research and innovation is something probably we as a state are not giving its due importance. We are probably we need to allocate budget for research and innovation at different levels of different types, which can not only create employment but also can make life easy, and maybe the living standard further goes up whenever there is a new and research. Last but not the least, Odisha as a state has achieved the name as far as skill development is concerned. The recent I'll just take 1 minute. I may please be allowed. Odisha as a state, the skill department, Odisha skill management has earned a place in the whole country. But at the end, we have to look at, have we really developed made that capacity building in addition to skill development? Skill development without adequate opportunity of employment or employability has little outcome actually. And if we are looking at capacity development, essentially and ideally we have to look at entrepreneurship, and we have to look at employment generation, which only MSMEs can help in a great extent. And here comes the role of professionals like cost and management accountants, who would probably a scheme can be thought of by the government of Orissa, where the services of professionals like cost and management can be taken to directly help and assist to handhold on entrepreneur or new entrepreneurs in terms of their business plan, in terms of fundraising, in terms of compliance relating to taxation, in terms of their accounting, expansion. So the cost, the expertise and availability of professionals of all types, not only cost and management accountants, but other professionals also, government should seriously utilize their services so that they directly help and assist the entrepreneurs and the whole ecosystem to grow and to become more effective. So I have these few expectations from the state government of Odisha in the upcoming budget. As such, the government of Odisha was a pioneer in setting up a nutrition budget, which was the first in its of its own kind during the last year, focusing on nutrition specific and nutrition sensitive. Government identified the resource allocation that it makes for nutrition, which is certainly a very interesting and welcoming step. But I sincerely believe that time has come when government of Odisha should focus on the issues which I raised, which as per my understanding, and maybe it will be of greater help to the state and to the nation. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your perspectives on state government budget, basically on education, health, and agriculture and MSME sector. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request CMA Vishwanath Bhatt, sir, practicing cost accountant from Bangalore and Vice Chairman of SIRC Chennai.
Good evening to everybody. Central Council member Shri Niranjan Mishra sir and PD Chairman Saktidhar Singh sir and all the representative of the chapters. Because see, naming each and everybody, it will take unnecessary, not unnecessary, it will take time. I will not repeat it. And all my professional colleagues and friends like Anil Sharma, Gupta ji and Mrutyunjay Acharji and all Padi sir and everybody. And if I left any name, That is not intentional, but due to shortage of time, I will not take each and everybody's name, but I am having high regard to each and everybody. In fact, Bhubaneswar chapter has conducted very good program. This discussion definitely a little bit helpful to either central or state stakeholders. And also it will give a lot of reputation to our institute. If you compile and give it to government, definitely it is useful. Already Mrityunjaya ji and Gupta ji and Padi sir, they have covered lot of things. Once again, I will not repeat the same. And whatever coverage is nothing but a short coverage of budget proposal. That is what they have covered. I will not cover all these points. Few direct and indirect tax points I will cover. See, always we are as a stakeholders or as a user, we are having a lot of expectation in each and every budget. But to what extent government is able to fulfill it is a big question, always big question. What we need to see is industry as a whole, growth of the industry, growth of the country, then revenue collection and proper allocation of resources. All these things you need to see. Along with that, maybe some few people will be getting very good benefit, few people will get benefit in later stage, all these things will be there. Now, if you see the two proposal, direct and indirect tax proposal, I will cover 3 points from direct tax proposal. One is cryptocurrency. Second one is viability of old and new scheme. Because see, government has announced a new scheme of income tax. Whatever based on my observation, people are not opting for that. Then additional allowance to work from home. It is altogether new thing. To what extent government will think, that we will see later. Because see, there is a benefit from work from home that I will explain to you. First, I will cover these 3 points, then I will go to indirect tax. Cryptocurrency. Wherever go, professionals are discussing cryptocurrency. People are dealing with that also. And the need of the hour. We can't escape from cryptocurrency, maybe in long run. But there is no clear-cut guidance from direct and indirect tax side. That is why whether cryptocurrency, dealing with cryptocurrency, whether it is a capital gain or not, if it is a capital gain, 36 months or 12 months, all these things, they have to come with a budget. In budget, they have to come with all these things. Then whether GST is applicable or not, if it is applicable, what portion, all these things regarding cryptocurrency. Then viability of the new scheme. Government has given 2 schemes. One is with all the exemptions and another scheme is without exemption. People will calculate the tax slabs with both the scheme. Once again, people will go with the old scheme only. Because of that, whatever government scheme, new scheme, people are not utilizing. Hence, once again, government has to rethink and they have to give a higher exemption level, okay, and higher tax slab for new tax regime. Then only people will utilize. Then additional allowance to work from home. Why it is required? See, under pandemic situation, we need to promote the work from home. How to promote it? Those who are taking benefit of this scheme, work from home, if you give them some additional deduction, automatically people will go for that work from home. And those who are opting, then maybe from company or from employee side, total burden to government will drastically, it will come down. Because see, now if you see, those who are working from home, they are not roaming, automatically pandemic spreading, everything will come down. That is why, according to my opinion, you have to give us some benefit to that work from home. Then from indirect side, you know very well, as a professional, they have amended 16AA. If you want to take the input tax credit, automatically it has to come in our GST website in 2B. Then there is those who are not opted for e-invoicing, say 50 crores, it is not mandatory. And some of the small industries, they are filing a quarterly return. Automatically, their input tax credit is not properly credited to website or to in 2B. That is why, according to my opinion, maybe initial struggle will be there. Better to make 100% e-invoicing mandatory. Maybe step by step within 6 months or 1 year maximum, you have to make 100% mandatory. Then regarding mandatory monthly uploading of IFF, say for example, for small business people, quarterly filing option is there. They can opt for IFF, they can upload monthly also. Because of that quarterly option, people are not getting the credit properly. That is why better to make it mandatory, because anyhow they are paying tax monthly. That is why better to make mandatory. Then last one is revision of monthly 3B and annual return. See, we are all human beings along with industry people. Always we are making the mistake. Maybe like Vishwanath, but he will make more mistake, or like Anil, Kumar or Padi sir, they will make less mistake. That is a different issue. It's all depending upon individual efficiency. But question is, due to that, people are not able to claim that whatever additional credit or some mistakes in some return, they can't get the benefit of that cleric, whatever in future, whatever they are uploading, invoices, all these things. They have to give an option to rectify the mistake, clerical mistakes. If it is intentional, that is altogether a different issue. At least you have to give an option to rectify the clerical mistake. With this, I will close this one. Once again, thank you very much to Bhubaneswar chapter and all the chapters of Odisha. Thank you very much. Word to Saktidhar Singh sir.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable views on direct tax, cryptocurrency, and availability of new schemes, additional allowance to work from home, and GST, e-invoicing, etc. Now, I would like to request CMA Anil Sharma sir, practicing cost accountant from Chandigarh. Sir, kindly address.
Anilji, please unmute, sir.
Sorry, friends. Good evening to everyone. And at the outset, really congratulate Bhubaneswar chapter and the team of Bhubaneswar chapter for always giving wonderful program across India and taking lead among the chapters for giving wonderful and meaningful programs for the profession of CMA. And congratulate to Niranjan sir and the team of the Bhubaneswar chapter. And friends, coming straightway to my topics of the day regarding expectations of a common person or common man from the budget 2022. Friends, as my fellow speakers have mentioned about the COVID-19 situation in the country across world and affected the life of individual and also the countries as a whole and disturbing the economy like anything. So friends, we have seen that Indian economy has come down to the level of minus 23.9 in first quarter of last year, and now regularly picking up and recovering from that situation. But still we are struggling with the economy of the country and people are literally facing problem, and same is the case with the industry. So people are having lot of expectations from the budget this time, and it will not be easy for the finance minister to satisfy the emotions or satisfy the expectations of the people, because people have suffered a loss economically as well as emotionally. They have lost their family members, and they are really in distress, really in a stigma of losing their people from the family. It is really a big loss to everyone, but still it's a challenge for the government, especially the finance minister, for giving such type of relaxations, or they can compensate to the extent economically or otherwise. Friends, my first point in the expectation of the budget from Government of India is regarding fuel prices, because fuel prices, the way it has been increasing in last 3-4 years, and the way it has hit the economy badly, and especially the MSME sector, or even in infrastructure also. So I feel that this time government should come out with relaxed policy about fuel prices, especially the excise duty imposed on crude oil, because if we go by the data which is available with us in October 2018, in October 2018 the excise duty on petrol was less than 20 rupees per liter, and also in the case of diesel, the excise duty on diesel in October 2018 it was 19.50 paisa per liter, but the way it has been increased by 65% in case of petrol and in 63% in case of diesel to 33 rupees per liter and also 32 rupees per liter. It is a drastic change. There is a huge impact on the economy as a whole, especially in industry as well as for the common people. If I go by the data available with us, even in my own case, also the budget of fuel has increased by 20 to 30% a month, which has affected all of us very badly, and especially in the industry. As Apatunjaji was talking about infrastructure investment in Orissa or other part of the country, but see, in case of cement, in case of steel, the fuel has direct impact. The transportation involved in cement industry, in steel industry, in infrastructure, in cement industry, it is tremendous. So the fuel pricing has affected each and every transaction of the economy, maybe trading in the goods, manufacturing of the goods, or providing services. So I feel and I expect a huge relaxation from the government of India in the policy on the pricing of the fuels, especially the diesel and petrol, because if you go by the data of 2021, you will see the indirect tax collection, especially because of the increase in the excise of fuel, excise on fuel and all these items. The collection of indirect tax has crossed to the collection of direct taxes. This is the first time in the history of the budget or in the economy of the country that indirect tax collection has gone up as compared to the direct taxes collections. So this is showing that indirect collection is coming from each and every individual. See, a ready wala or a daily wager also paying indirect tax, whereas he may not be paying direct tax, but he's paying indirect tax. But at the same time, the percentage of indirect taxes being paid by a common person is higher than the percentage of direct taxes paid by the rich person. So the percentage, the major amount of his income is going through indirect taxes to the kitty of the government. Government has to take a note on that. And I feel that the fuel prices should come down drastically and should be with balanced approach, so that at least one should not need to spend on fuel from their own savings, because it has disturbed the budget of each and every person, including me or the professional like us. So this is one of my point, that government should come out with the balanced policy as far as for the pricing of, as far as the pricing of fuel is concerned, especially diesel and petrol. So friends, apart from this, I would like to share my views on direct taxes, because it also impacts the individual. So from individual point of view, we are one of my co-speaker has mentioned about the deductions available to individuals, especially in section 80 and 80C and so on. So friends, if you go by the deductions available to the individual, the normal person, individual who is maybe a salaried person or maybe having some small business or so. So there are approximately 18 to 20 deductions are available under section 80 only. You can call by this 80C, 80CC, 80CCD, 80CCE, 80CCG, 80D, 80DD, and so on. There are 1920 deductions available for an individual having salary less than 10 lakh rupees or having total gross income or taxable income less than 10 lakh rupees. So my only submission to the government is that the government is in the process of simplification of the taxes, reform the taxation. Then reforms must be for simplification, not for complication. So in the process of reforms or in the process of simplification of the direct taxes, my submission and my expectation from budget is that why can't the government should merge all these deductions right from 80C to 80U till 80U, which are available to individual having a gross total income or taxable income less than 10 lakh rupees into a standard deductions, because every person, every common person is spending on his education, spending on medical, spending on rent of a house, spending on some house property, spending on some other things like in COVID also people are spending a lot of money on the medical treatment. So instead of having all these 20 sections in the income tax, why can't we keep the whole these deductions into standard deduction? Because everybody needs these type of things. Education is the primary thing which is required. Rent of a house, food, medical, these are the primary things in the life without which one cannot survive. So my point is, instead of having these so much of sections and provisions, and again they have provisos, they have subsections, sub clauses, why can't we keep these things like a standard deduction and allow? This will simplify the taxation as well as for individual is concerned, and definitely people will come forward for filing returns by their own. So it will increase the tax base also. So that is my expectation, that this deduction should be submerged into a standard deduction only. Apart from that, friends, we were talking about GST also. So like petroleum products are the need of including these items into GST. If they're done, definitely it will help the industry or the common man. But the condition is that government should come with balanced policy for including petroleum prices in GST. Because if by keeping these items in GST and then imposing 100% or 200% cess on that, it will again affect the common person and the economy at large. Similarly, in case of hospitals or the medical facilities which are exempted under GST for say, and we have seen that in COVID, people are suffering like anything and they are spending a lot of money on medical expenses. There is a need of the time that we should come with balanced approach or balanced policy from government side, that if you are exempting hospitals or medical facilities under GST from GST tax, it should be exemption for inputs availed by hospitals, because the inputs availed by or the input services or the input goods taken by the hospital for the treatment of the consumer for the patient, it will ultimately adding a cost to the patient. So unless the total chain is exempted, the benefit to the consumer will not be there. Or otherwise, if you want to keep benefit to the consumer patient, then the hospital should also be charged something and ITC must be available with them, and then something will be really serving the common person. And another debate which is going on for so many years or decades in the country is about depreciation rates existing in income tax and depreciation rates existing in corporate sector, means in the Companies Act. So there is a huge difference between the income tax rates or the depreciation rate in the income tax and the rate available in Companies Act. So if these can be uniformed, these can be brings to closer or to each other, because today it's a huge gap between the tax rates available in GST, in income tax as well as in Companies Act. So these rates need to be reduced and to be at same footing, which will definitely help the corporate sector for unnecessary litigation or unnecessary complications. Because for dividend we have profit, but for income tax we don't have profit. So these type of things are creating a lot of confusion and litigation, and also some leakage in the system. So I feel that this type of corrections are need of the hour. The way economy is growing and the way the Modi's government is looking for infrastructure built up in the country. So these are some corrective actions which I feel should be there in the budget. With this, I really congratulate Bhubaneswar chapter once again. And one more point which I would like to add, which Mr. Bhatt was talking about cryptocurrency and the treatment of cryptocurrency in income tax and GST. To my mind, cryptocurrency is still an illegal currency in India as far as Indian government is concerned. So until it is legalized, I don't think there will be any provision or any clause or any step by the government in GST as well as income tax. With these lines, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity by Bhubaneswar chapter. Once again, congratulations to each and every one of the person involved in this program. Thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you, sir, for your nice deliberation and sharing your valuable perspectives, basically highlighting the expectation of common men regarding to fuel price and simplification of IT provisions. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to request CMM Mihir Kumar Mahapatra, sir, practicing cost accountant, Cuttack. Sir, kindly share a few words. Sir, please unmute.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, all my friends. Today, actually, I am very much privileged that all of you have asked me to join as a panelist, which I was expecting. Thank you again for your cordiality. Actually, today the function was very nice. And it is actually enjoyable with the presence of Mr. Vishal sir. Due to some reason or the other, he is now busy, so he couldn't listen the deliberation of the CMS and how effective they are in their work field. However, I congratulate all my professional colleagues and professional friends who have joined as panelists, or who are the chairmen and the managing committee members who have joined. Thank you very much for your cooperation. My predecessors have already told a lot about the budget proposals or the budget expectations. So I do not want to go more detail into the subject. From my own experience, I'll be telling something within 5 or 10 minutes. As you know, the world has never seen such kind of pandemic situation. All over the world, we are seeing it. In these circumstances, the most affected sector is education and health. As you know, since years together, private institutions, they are unable to open the schools and provide schools and colleges and provide education. And if they are also providing, lot of expenditures are being incurred by them in the 4G facilities, 5G facilities, and various other infrastructures. So my aim is that the government should consider about this infrastructure development of the education sector. Similarly, the health sector is lagging behind. As you know, we have spent a lot of money, a huge amount of money in the research and development and for the vaccinations. So, similarly, the medicals, whether they are private medicals or government medicals, and the patients, they are also suffering. So, in that way, the government should take measures for taking some actions for the benefit of these people. Another sector which is mostly coming behind is employment. Since last 2 years, we have been seeing that the employment opportunities for the people are reducing. Nobody is getting employment, and if he is also employed, the salary which he was receiving has come to half or very minimum. So the government should take proper measures for reviving the employment opportunities for the common people. Similarly, just I am telling you one example. I had gone to a spec shop and wanted to purchase a frame. The price which he was offering to 1 year back has been doubled. Say I was getting a frame at 1,000 rupees. The price is now 2,000. When I inquired why there is increase in cost, they told they have huge stocks. The producers have huge stocks. Unless and until they are exhausted, they will not start their production. And even they start their production also, the manufacturing cost has become so high, it is very difficult for them to continue the production and to market the product. Even if the product is marketed, there is nobody else to purchase. Shops are open, but there are less consumers to purchase. So that means the production cost has gone high, but since the people, they do not have purchasing power with them, they are unable to purchase. So it should be, in my opinion, it should be the strategy of the government to provide direct assistance to the people through the banks. As you know, whether it is Mudra scheme or any other scheme through which they are getting money, people are getting money, that should be taken care of, and the bank should facilitate the generation of or distribution of cash, whether in shape of loan or like that, to the people. Now I can come over to the MSME sector. In the MSME sector, the banking industry should be optimized, and there should be increased in the health sector. Allocation of expenditure should be made to the health sector. And as my predecessor have already told, that there should be complete funding of Atmanirbhar Swachh Swasthya Bharat Yojana. In the last year, 61,180 crore had been earmarked to be spent in 5 years. So in that way, that expenditure should be spent in a perfect manner. In the next point, there should be GST rationalization. The rationalization of GST should be there, and real estate project, etc., they should be funded to generate more employment opportunities. So, with the increase in the MSME sector, we can produce more, and we can the generation of employment will also be more. Now we can come over to certain points in the direct tax. Already, my predecessor had already told about the 25,000 limit should be enhanced to more. In this line also, I am telling that the GST rate on the premium, which is very high, should be reduced, so that the cost of the insurance premium will be less to the consumers or less to the persons who will be purchasing the insurance policy. That should be also taken care of in the budget. Similarly, if you come over to the salaried people, there is a demand from the salaried people that the standard deduction, which is 50,000 now, let it be extended to 1 lakh rupees, and the ETC exemption limit of 1,50,000 should also be more. So, whatever the case may be, in those circumstances, there should be some rationalization of these direct tax and indirect tax policies. One thing what I am going to tell is that the introduction of the faceless assessment and the introduction of faceless appeals, they have created more confusion and more litigation in the sector. As you know, again and again we have to submit the same thing, and the appeals which are to be heard very early due to this faceless appeal scheme, it is being hindered, it is lingering. So, in my opinion, some this kind of litigation in the direct tax structure should be reduced, and the government should take measures to see that all these anomalies are eradicated. With this, all my predecessors, they have spoken quite well. So some very few points I have told you. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your nice words. Now I would like to request CMA Chaudhary N.K. Nanda sir, Vice Chairman, ICAI Raulkela Chapter. Sir, kindly address.
Thank you. Thank you, CM Mr. Singh. Honorable Principal Secretary, Department of Finance in Shri Vishal Kumar Dev in absentia, CMA Niranjan Mishra, Council Member ICAI, CMA BB Nayak, Council Member Eastern India Regional Council, esteemed panelists, Chairman Bhubaneswar Chapter and all chapters of ICAI, Odisha, distinguished guests, dear CMAs, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I feel really honored to be given an opportunity to share my views on pre-union budget 42nd organized by Bhubaneswar Chapter of ICAI in association with all ICAI chapters of Odisha. Actually, this is indeed a great day when all the chapters of Odisha state have joined their hands to organize a pre-budget
next month
harmonious shall pave a long way in the form of synergy, value addition, and development for the profession. I think this is a new thing we have started as a entirely state of Odisha organizing this function. So I am very happy and we will go ahead with this landmark endeavor. And then coming to the budget discussion, my predecessors have already told many things, particularly one thing I have to add, that in our Atmanirbhar Bharat, there is a, it has, when you have to go ahead, we have to give importance to research and development. But in actually, India is ranking very low in innovation ranking in the worldwide, and research and development is not given proper importance in our country. And in 98-99, government introduced some measures under section 35 2AB to give benefits, tax benefits, that all research and expenses around 175% tax benefit was given on that. But gradually it was withdrawn in 17, it has been 2017, it has been withdrawn gradually, now it has been made 100%. So I hope that government will this time consider, and this is a more important factor which will be helpful in increasing research in industry. So without research and development, we cannot have innovative products, and without innovative products, we cannot increase our productivity and economic activity in very major way. So that is the one thing, that's the major area what I think government should help, and even if not giving this benefit, they should give some novel benefits or novel things they should bring in, so that research and development is given very importance in our country. Then coming to the things which my predecessor told, actually these three areas, education, then health and infrastructure, these three are very important sectors. But in these particular three sectors, the government and the central government and state government, they have to both come in so that there will be a faster, quick development. Whatever the government schemes you see, sir, our education expenses is very less compared to our GDP. Our budget provision is very less. If it has to be increased by this budget, it has to be increased. But the program should come in such a way that there should be it should be incentivized so that state governments will also participate in the things. So some matching grant should be given by state government, so there will be infrastructure as well as the increase in standard of education will be there. So these things have to be considered. Similarly, in health sector also that is there. And coming to infrastructure, I can say that one area I am working in Raurkela Steel Plant, it is a Western Odisha, and where it is not connected properly to the ports and facilities in coastal Odisha. Still now, for 40-50 years, Bimla-Ghot Talcher railway line is going on, and there is a demand and there is a strike, and then government has given. Till now also, they are regularly increasing the period of construction. That state government and central government have to provide a high budget, and the state government also should help, so that these things are done. The cost will be reduced in the industrial area of Odisha and will be competitive. So this is another area for infrastructure. I have just come to the case of Odisha. So many things are there. Expectations are very much but government will fulfill what we don't know. Let us wait, and whatever government brings, let us support and let us take in a good spirit and support and execute the things whatever be possible. And the Atmanirbhar Bharat program is a very good program, and that should be successful in the budget. Government should come in a good spirit to help match their words. Thanking you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your views and proposal and highlighting the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now I would like to request CMA Khirochandra Nanda sir, Chairman ICAI Sambalpur Chapter. Sir, kindly share your views.
Namaskar. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Jai Jagannath. Respected Chief Guest, Shri Anil sir, in his absence here, and other respected panelists and CMA fraternity and other participants available in this easy platform. Congratulations, first of all, to the Kolkata and Bhubaneswar chapter for regularly conducting this type of platform for education of all and giving opportunity to everybody. And that apart, today the pre-budget session, what I heard, it was very encouraging from all parts. As everybody has shared a lot of things, one thing I thought in power sector, let us share, and it is rather, I can say, it is an appeal to Government of India, because there is a new scheme came called smart metering. Through MOP guideline, it was came in August 21. As per that notification, what happened? All the consumers other than this agriculture sector is supposed to be covered under smart metering prepaid mechanism. And timeline has been given with certain directions. One part is by December 23, another part is December 22, another part is December 25. Who are covered on December 23 group? Like all the union territories will be covered. That apart, all the electrical division across the country, if their loss, AT&C loss is more than 50%, if their consumer base is more than 50% in urban sector, and their AT&C loss is around more than 15% as per the financial result of 1920, they are covered under this scheme. Similarly, other electrical divisions, other than this consumer base of 50%, urban consumer base, if their AT&C loss is more than 25%, they are also eligible for this smart metering activity. That apart, all government offices blocked in across the country in block level, and all industrial as well as commercial consumers are also covered under this scheme, and it has to be done before 23 of December. Other than that, all other areas, what I not covered, it will be covered by December 25. But here, there is a mandate to all the state regulatory commissions. If they desire, they can extend it to maximum 2 times, and each time by 6 months each time. So maximum 1 year will be will be extended. That's the idea. This is one part of towards consumer smart metering. In case of feeders, all feeders has to be through feeder this smart meter. It has to be completed by December 22. So there is a timeline. And in case of DTR, distribution transformer, similarly, it has to be covered in case of that more than 50% of urban consumer base, and if AT&C loss is more than 15% like that. So it will be also with that by December 23. And if there is a scope of this network problem, then state commission has been authorized to extend as per their thought process, and they can do it it has been empowered to them. So here the main concept of putting my thought process over here, because as of now most of the states are going for privatization, and also it has happened in Odisha, and it since 99 it is going on. As because the smart metering project is a very costly affair. What would be the cost here about? So in case of Odisha, we do have near about 1 crore of consumer base. If consumer base is more than 1 crore, then obviously around 6,000 crore will be required for this project. As per the mandate of this Government of India, this facility is hopefully is not available to the private participating states. Yani ki here there is a private participation, but there is a stake of 49% of state government of Odisha, and it is happening in other part of the country also. So unless until a financial support will be accommodated through this budget, then obviously consumers across the country will be suffered with high price, high electricity price. So this is a appeal from our side, I can say so. This is a platform can take it up. There should be a minimum substantial amount, rather I can say not minimum. There should be some substantial support to the each and every states where government as well as private participators are available, so that consumer interest can be protected, and they will having to that extent of this budgetary support in the coming budget. So this is one area I was trying to give some throws of light, because already my predecessor has already explained regarding the solar and all. It has already covered, so not necessary to be given once again. So I thought this is one area to be shared. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you,
Over
sir.
to Saktidhar.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your proposal on power sector. Now house is open for discussion. Anyone having any queries or any proposal may unmute and share. Okay, actually we are time is over. Now I would like to request CMA Lalit Kumar Mishra, Chairman CGK Chapter. Please give the formal vote of thanks.
Good evening. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good evening to all the esteemed panelists and participants of this August program. Webinar has been arranged with the initiative of the Bhubaneswar chapter, with all leading chapters of the state. I am proudly privileged to extend vote of thanks at the end of the session, just to close the function as it is highly required. In absence of Principal Secretary, Minister of Finance, Government of Orissa, due to his absence, there is due to some preoccupation. We expect in the very shortly we will be listening from him in post-budget session. So actually, all the panelists, those who have joined with us today, it is a very memorable event, because through all this platform, because this is the only opportunity for all the professionals to share their feelings, which will be taken care by the Government of Odisha as well as Government of India through our budget memorandum, to take a lot of issues in the correct perspective for the industrial development of the country, along with the for growth of the Indian economy, especially during which has been curtailed over the last 2 years due to this pandemic. We expect that all these suggestions and issues that have been discussed today with due deliberations by our esteemed panelists, definitely it will be of help to the professionals assembled here so as to advise their clients, and to moreover the government in making the budget policy for the financial year 2020, 2022 and 23 with robust growth in the Indian economy. We expect the same will happen in the coming year also. We will be organizing similar kind of programs so as to make more participation with more our endeavors to put forth the issues before the government of India and as well as the government of Orissa and other states. So that the stakeholders will be most get the maximum benefit. So because we have, I am now the panelists who have joined with us include Mr. CMA Mrityunjay Acharya sir, CMA SP Padi, CMA BM Gupta sir, CM Vishwanath Bhatt, CM Anil Sharma. We are proud to listen from you, sir, your thought-provoking, that is long experience has enlightened all the CMA members. So we are again, we extend from core of my heart on behalf of all the state team of CMAs assembled here. Last but not the least, I am also on behalf of all the state team of CMA. I want to express my sincere gratitude to CMA Bibinayak, Treasurer EIRC, and CMA Niranjan Mishra sir, CCM. So there we expect with their leadership and with their acumen, again with the similar kind of programs will be brought for the benefit of the profession and the industry also as a whole. So again, in the absence of Principal Secretary, Minister of Finance, so I, on behalf of the chapters and institute also, I extend my sincere gratitude to the Principal Secretary, Minister of Finance. So with this, now I would like to close the seminar. Jai Jagannath. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Namaskar, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.